It's now your decision. Do I want to be rich or do I want to be wealthy? If you want to be wealthy, start accumulating assets. But if you want to be rich, keep accumulating liability and cash. Cash is a liability. Friend will come, they will borrow, they will not return. You see one very fine electric car, you will buy, you will enjoy. After 3 years, you will sell. Where's the motorcycle my mom bought 15 years ago? So you should just, rather than stock money up, buy assets so that you can become wealthy, because it was assets that saved Femi Otedola when, at the time when he had issues, he had to let go of one or two assets, and he's doing amazingly well today. So yeah, real estate is real. You don't need to break the bank to own a piece of real estate, and just start from one. When you start from one, it gives you that sense of responsibility, that sense of fulfillment, self-fulfillment, and it also opens your mindset that, oh, I need to have more streams of income. I need to have multiple streams of income so that I can lock down these assets that I have and buy more assets. So that's the beauty of real estate. The moment you begin to buy land, you get your land documents, you see your land, you get your physical allocation, not receipts or paper allocation. It gives you this kind of inner joy that you want to do more. So you wanting to do more, you now begin to think, rather than just relying on my 9 to 5, let me see one or two businesses that I can do here or there and make more money. That's what comes with investing in real estate. You begin to think like a wealthy person. That's why we say the difference between the rich and the wealthy is real estate, because your mindset begins to change, begins to get more broad. You know that I can't rely on just my salary. I need to get more streams of income. Is me having more streams of income is what brought me into the real estate industry. From marketing to buying one plot, from buying one plot to becoming an estate developer. That can be anybody's story.
Hello, welcome to this episode of the Lagos Real Estate Insider Podcast, where we help you create wealth investing in real estate. Today, I'm joined by one of our prestigious real estate developer. He has done multiple developments in Lagos. He's a man of integrity, hardworking man with a vision, and a man of faith. So today is going to be breaking down the both and not of real estate investing. Whether you want to multiply your money, you want to invest in real estate, it's going to be breaking down everything and make it super simple. Is Mr. Samuel Momo, the MD and CEO of Mirror Homes Investment. It's a great pleasure to have you on the podcast, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Idris. The honor and privilege is mine.
Before we get started, for someone who is meeting Mr. Samuel for the first time, tell us who you are and how you started real estate investment.
Okay, so I am Samuel Moma by name. I would say I read economics education from University of Benin. That was 2010 to 2015. Then served in the north. Then post NYC, I did a postgraduate diploma at the University of Lagos. So I started out my career as a teacher, but a very ambitious person. So I chose to enter real estate because I've always had keen eye for real estate. Growing up, my mom said when she resigned from Guinness, she didn't get the opportunity to use our retirement funds to buy properties, which was our biggest regret. So I held on to that word growing up, that real estate is something that I want to do. So I started out marketing, let's say around 2018 or 17, late 2017. Then from marketing, the business grew. Then we saw an opportunity. Then we went into real estate development. The goal is just to contribute our quota to reducing the housing deficit issue we have, and also to sell genuine properties, because this then we realized there were a lot of fraudulent lands that are committed that were in the market. Like, it's exhausting when you can't really find anything genuine to sell. Like, okay, let me just build my own brand and try and build trust and offer value to people that are interested in buying properties. So that was how the journey started. So we started a development company about 3 years ago. Though the growth was quite exponential in terms of what we're expecting. So we're grateful to God that we've come this far.
And I
Thank
remember
you.
you sharing the story that your parents miss out investing in
In
Lekki.
Lekki,
So
yeah.
can you share that story with
Yeah.
me?
Like more like in the late 90s, I think, or mid 90s. My mom retired around 1994, 1995. And then a plot of land in Lekki was between 50 to 150,000 maximum. Because I know someone personally who used to work at Chevron, an elderly woman now, and she was like, Chevron Cooperative wanted them to buy land in Lekki Phase 1 for 150,000, but she turned it down because they had enough properties in Lagos. Imagine. So then when my mom retired, I think she got about maybe a quarter of a million, maybe around 250 to 300,000 was our retirement benefits in mid 90s. I can't really remember the figure, but it was less than 500k. I'm quite certain about that. But that money then was a lot. Trust me, it was a lot. But rather than buy property, she didn't have anyone to advise her. So what she was just investing was motorcycle and paying school fees. Then they fixed my dad's car too. And she was like, if she had known or anyone had advised her then, she would have just used that money and buy a plot of land.
And imagine buying that land. Then
I'm not sure we'll be having this conversation right now, to be honest.
because the land today, a
Yeah,
plot in Lekki Phase 1 today, we are talking about 300,
350,
400,
400
and
million
five,
naira.
depend on the location. And some
Yeah.
are even waterfront property, especially on Admiralty Road. So last year we launched Sterling Court Phase 1 and it sold out so fast. And now you are launching Sterling Court Phase 2. So for an investor with 100 million naira thinking about how can I multiply this money or how can I turn it to 150 million naira, 200 million naira, 500 million naira investing in real estate in Sterling Court, what would be your blueprint for that investor?
Hmm. Well, first thing you need to know, real estate is a long term thing, because the challenge we have with many people who buy properties is that I don't know if they are given false information. You think you can buy land, and in 1 year your land has given you 1 billion naira. So that's the first thing. What are your investment goals? Are you buying to hold? Okay, I want to buy this land now. I want to hold this for the next 5 years. Then after 5 years, I want to sell it and make my money. So if that's your story, then you can now consider, okay, let me buy a titled land. For instance, Sterling Court 2 has a C of O. So let's assume you buy two plots of land in Sterling Court with C of O. You get your allocation, you fence it round. Then you are able to hold it for 3 to 5 years, because it's going to be facing an alternative road. So within that 3 to 5 years, the land should be worth almost 100 million, 70 to 100 million naira, depending on how fast they're able to, the coastal road starts functioning, then the alternative road is functioning as well, then that place is definitely going to open up. Then the airport serious construction has started, LRCT is already functioning. Then many other developments like the refinery, the deep sea ports, everything would have been so busy by then. So yeah, in 5 years from now, a plot of land in Ibeju Lekki should be getting to 100 million naira. If, however, you are one that you are looking for immediate return on investment, the only thing you can actually do that makes sense is to buy a property either off plan. When, for instance, now when we launched Genesis Smart Apartment, it was selling for 65 million, 65 million. Then there was no inflation. Then inflation set in, cost of materials almost tripled in some cases, and in some other cases it doubled. So what happened was, well, what happened? There was a due to the insurgence of prices in construction, the price of the apartment has risen to about 120 million naira now. So imagine you bought that property at off plan at 60 million. Upon completion, it can immediately sell. That's the beauty of off plan. The people who buy an off plan, if it's a reputable company that is selling, at the completion, you actually make more money than even the company itself that is developing. Because based on it's being sold at an off-plan stage, you get to buy at ridiculous prices. Then at the completion, you can immediately sell and you can make 70 to 100% return on investment. Then if you're not even interested in selling, we can immediately put such a project on shortlets. For instance, so a two-bedroom, you'll be spending a minimum of 100 to 150,000 per night. So imagine out of 365 days in a year, we are just able to rent your short-let apartment for, let's say, 180 days, just half of the year. That's, let's say, and let's even consider a worst-case scenario of 100,000 naira per night. We're looking at 18 million naira. Then when you now take away your expenditure, you'll be making at least 10 million naira on an annual basis in terms of profits, minimum on a two-bedroom apartment. Then you could choose to, okay, this is retirement money or money I'll be using to flex. Then after like 3 years, you can still sell that apartment for more than double the price you bought it. And especially because it's a short let, therefore it's going to be properly managed. Because for short lets, they pay caution fee. They damage anything, they pay for what they damage. So it pays to do short lets than to rent out your property. You earn lesser when it's a rental property. And trust me, I'll tell you for free, your property will definitely get damaged. But in terms of short lets, you make more money, then you still have a higher resale value. because the property is well managed. So if you're one that is looking for short-term return on investment, you can consider buying an apartment, not even a duplex. Okay? Because duplex, you buy a duplex now for 100 million naira. In the next 3 years, you can't really sell that duplex for anything meaningful because that duplex is for family. And if it, let's say you buy an apartment, even if you're abroad or wherever, you can easily use it for shortlets. But people do not really rent duplexes. What most people prefer are 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom apartments. It's only when they're throwing a party or a very big event that people usually consider duplexes. So in terms of return on investment, apartments actually pay more because of what you can use your apartments for. So you are looking for short-term return on investment. You should consider short-led business, which makes sense. But if you're thinking long-term to medium term, let me say 3 to 5 years, just buy title lands, not land in Ekwe. Land in Ekwe is 10 years, okay? In terms of making meaningful return on investment, I'm looking at 7 to 10 years, depending on where in Ekwe or lands outside Lagos. But Ibeju Lekki title lands, we are looking at maximum 5 years. Then Ekpe developed areas, 5 years. But inside Ekpe, we'll be looking at 10 years minimum. So you just need to determine what your goals are. Are you looking for short term or medium term? Some like there was someone who bought a land in an estate in Awoyaya, let's say for 25 million naira, in Bogijaya. And in less than 6 months, she sold the land for 40 million. You can only do this when you buy titled lands in an estate. So you flip with land, titled lands, 3 to 5 years, or you want immediate return, you buy an apartment, then you put it on short let or let's say 2 years, make good money, then you sell.
Wow.
Rather than just buy a duplex and you now start getting rent from your duplex. That one, you won't really get
Make
much value. I only advise duplexes if it's for yourself. You want to live there, buy a duplex, but you don't want to live there. It's not really a wise investment decision to buy shortlets. I mean, to buy a duplex because in terms of shortlet income, people prefer apartments to duplexes. Okay, so yeah, that's
and
my own
I,
humble
and
opinion.
I remember there is one of a landlord living in Ikati. She has multiple property in Ikati, and there is an apartment she used for rent. The apartment is rented for almost 10 million naira.
Oh, wow,
Just two
two
bedroom,
bedroom
10
apartment.
million naira, and there is another one for 7 million naira just one bedroom apartment.
Wow,
So I was like, although the apartment is well furnished, the finishing is world class. So, but if people are willing to pay this amount for a single apartment, it means people make lots of money in shortlet business.
definitely. And a place like Ikate, you'll be looking at 150 to 200,000 naira per night, depending on the quality of the apartment.
A lot of our investors, some are still procrastinating investing in Ibeju Lekki, and last year you did an amazing project in Ibeju Lekki. You are still doing it, and even more again. So tell our investors, why should they invest in Ibeju Lekki?
Okay, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years back in Ibeju Lekki with less than with 5 million to 7 million, less than 10 million naira to be precise, you will get a gazetted land, and in some cases, a sea of O land in Ibeju Lekki. Fast forward to 2025. For a sea of O land, we're looking at 30 million per plot. If you are lucky, you might see 25, 27 minimum. So do the maths. Let's say seven, that is times four in terms of price, return on investment. So now fast forward, now that is 25 to 30, depending on the location. With C of O, that is in the next 4 to 5 years, it's projected that it's going to get to 100 million naira. And why is this? In Ibeju Lekki, we have the coastal road. In Ibeju Lekki, we have the Dangote refinery. We have the Lagos Free Trade Zone. Then we have Alaro City. And when we say Alaro City, it means the name itself. It's a city on its own. Picture, what do you find in a city? Houses, industries, both manufacturing industries and the likes. And we have about 3 functioning industries already in Alaro City. And guess what? It's still under construction. Then in the Lagos Free Trade Zone now, we have so many industries there that are also functioning. Then we have the deep sea ports. Then there's a promise of the proposed
The seven
airports.
has
So
the airport construction has started.
yeah,
Oh,
said So just the only place that I know that will be beating Ibeju Lekki is Victoria Island, and that's because of the Eco Atlantic. In terms of the volume of investment coming there, it beats Lekki, it beats Ikoyi. So the only part of Ikoyi we can begin to compare it with is probably Banana Island, then Victoria Island. So it's wise to have investments where there's heavy government presence, heavy private presence, and there's also presence of heavy foreign investors, all in the same location. So it's more like you know what is coming here, and you're already seeing it happen before your eyes. Are you going to wait till it's 100 million, or are you going to buy now? So it's more of a decision. If you don't buy when it's affordable, you didn't buy when it was 10 million. Now it's between 27 to 30. And some people are even selling 45 to 50 million currently in same Ibeju Lekki. So if you don't buy it now, then you buy maybe when it's 100 million. And if you can't afford it, then maybe you buy in Epe. And if you still sleep in Epe, when the government is done, then everybody goes to perfect. You find yourself in Mowi or Ogun State. If you are still sleeping, you find yourself in Ibadan. If you are still sleeping, maybe you find yourself in your village, developing your village. It is what it is. So before I used to like beg people to buy land, but I don't do that anymore because I've seen real estate grow. I had a property that used to be 2.5 facing the express, and today now is between 12 to 15 million within 3 years. I don't know any other type of investment that will give you that kind of money if it's not real estate or a business that you are engaging in. But let me not say I don't know any other type of business. I don't know any other type of side hustle. Because land investment is more like a side hustle that will give you that kind of return on investment within that period of time. So you can never go wrong in investing in real estate so long you do your due diligence. That's what is important because many people have gotten their hands burnt. So you just need to do your due diligence by getting a registered surveyor to vet the property. So once the property is vet, that it checks out, there's no reason not to buy. Then the location also matters. Ibeju Lekki is the best place to buy. Ekpe is the next best place to buy. If you cannot afford to buy in Ajah or Gotedo axis, you start thinking Ibeju Lekki, Ekpe. Or if it's even Muwe, you can even afford or Ogun State, Abeokuta. So long it is land and the land doesn't have issue, just buy as your money
Yeah,
can carry
yeah.
it.
One of the things I always tell people about investing in Ibeju Lekki is when you are buying land, you check criteria like migration, demand and supply, and affordability. And when we think about all those criteria, Ibeju Lekki already satisfy all those criteria because everything that made Lagos what it is in Ibeju Lekki. When we talk of airport, it's coming to Ibeju Lekki. When we talk of seaport, that is in Apapa, it's also in Ibeju Lekki, and
Yeah.
many other things. There's
And they're
also
already even constructing a road in Songote though. That road that they're constructing in Songote is going to connect to Elerongbe. Then from Elerongbe is also going to connect to the airport as well. So they have already even creating several access routes. Then there's the alternative route apart from the Eleko road. From those coming from the seaport area, government is creating two special alternative routes that is going to connect. So it's Igbejuleke right now is well planned and designed into multiple schemes. Iberekodo scheme, Idera scheme, then Aituru scheme. Then more schemes are also coming out. So now is more like the best time to buy. Just buy land that has both government allocation and C of O. I'm going to sleep.
wow, there's also the red line, I mean the green line coming,
Yeah.
the seventh Ajah Road. So now, among all those things that we mentioned, is where the Sterling Court is located. Why should someone invest in Sterling Court Phase 2?
Okay. Yeah. Sterling Courts Phase 2 is located in Iberekodo scheme. It's within a government scheme. So it's just like you have your Lekki scheme 1 and Lekki scheme 2. So that's about the Iberekodo scheme. Then it's directly facing an alternative road that is going to terminate at the coastal road. And as we speak, the construction has already started from the Lekki Ekpe Expressway, which is meant to terminate at the coastal road. And within that scheme, there are amazing facilities, hospitals, schools, churches, mosques, recreational areas, fire station, truck terminal. It's just like a mini city that is well designed. And Silent Culture is not just facing one of the road, it's more like in the center of the two alternative roads. It means it's going to have like two several, we're seated in the middle here. To have one alternative road here, then another alternative road here. Then the estate is now in the center, just like Lekki Scheme 2 that has a front gate and another back gate. So that's how this estate is also going to be. So depending on where you're going to, you could choose to use this exit or that exit. So it's in the center of all the development that it's actually coming within that scheme. And these are facts that one can verify. And in terms of documentation, it has, government allocation is different from CFO. So when you have allocation, you perfect it to a CFO. So this already has both a government allocation and a CFO, fresh 2024 CFO that you can use for the next 99 years. So in terms of title, it checks. In terms of location, it checks. It's going to terminate at the coastal road. Then the road starts from in front of Veliganza. That is just adjacent Pan Atlantic University. So you have Alaro City and the proposed airport there. Then you also have behind you coastal road, and that coastal road, begin to imagine the kind of development that is going to be on that axis, because those a lot of massive projects the government is certainly going to put that will be facing the coastal road. So it's, in fact, it's a very sweet land. And actually, we're, by the grace of God, we are looking at by probably the end of next year, once we've fully developed the land, we're going to start selling houses there. We also intend to do build and sell. That's because we're not just selling properties, we also believe in what we are selling, and we know that that place is actually livable. Once we are able to fully develop the estates, then there's no reason for people not to live there, because it's already within a community as well. So it's just you only drive for 4 minutes where you'll be seeing bush, but before that, you will see just a residential area with shops and everything. And all that axis that is undeveloped is for we as the developers to come together and develop it. That's on one end, aside the government road that is coming. So there's no reason not to buy it. It's 11 minutes drive currently from the Lekki Expressway, and that's because the roads are not hard. So imagine when the government is done with the road, we'll be looking at 5 minutes drive off a major third road. That's an amazing investment opportunity, to be honest.
And I think it's also a few minutes from the Atlantic Ocean where we are
Yeah,
having
on the other
beaches.
side,
Yeah,
we can even, when we flew out, we're able to see the Atlantic Ocean. So you still get that cool breeze from the ocean as well.
okay, and the price is still 30 million naira,
Currently,
all
all
inclusive,
inclusive,
and amazing development is coming to the estate.
definitely.
The perimeter fencing, or can you talk about
Perimeter
it?
fencing, gatehouse, drainage system, recreational area, children play area, then a lawn tennis court, and a mini basketball court as well. Then probably a mini football pitch on the side. So you have all your amenities within the estate, aside the one that is within the scheme to be provided by the government. You're going to have yours within your estate as well.
For someone starting with, let's say, 2 million naira or 3 million naira or 5 million naira, should they choose upland residence? Upland residence is boundary Ekpe, or should they go to Kobakwe, Ogun State, or Oyo State?
Depending on the person's choice, you could either go for Upland or Abeokuta. Those would be my first two recommendations. You should be considering Oyo State, maybe if you're on a budget of less than 2 million. But anything 1.5 to 5 million, you should consider Epe close to Lagos or Abeokuta axis, because the return on investment there is going to be higher than the return on investment in Oyo State. Upland is a very good investment opportunity if you're on a budget of 2.5 to 5 million naira. You can consider Epe under Ogun State government. Then, if you're on a budget of 1.3 to 2 million naira, you have very good land in Kobak. Where by next month, we'll have our first batch of fiscal allocation. The price is going to really skyrocket because it's very close to this film city. I've forgotten the name of the film
The
city.
Lagos Film City.
No, it's in Ogun State, not
Um,
Lagos. On Ogun State, where they shot Ilubirin. So the
is it
property is
Ibrahim
not,
Chata Film City?
I don't know the name, but I just know the name of the movie is what I know, Ilubirin. So it's close to where the movie was shot. And it's off an alternative road that is currently under construction to Abeokuta. So from the expressway, that is the Abeokuta Expressway, where we have that Prince Dapo Abiodun Housing Estate. On that road, just one left turn and you get to the property. So we are also even considering affordable housing there as well, because you're not going to be passing push to get to the property. It's already within a community.
Can you just tell investors more about upland residence, maybe the opportunity it has to offer?
So upland is a land banking property. Okay, the land is free from every form of government equivalent, and by next year we're going to process our CFO on the land by the grace of God. So those are the why we went for upland. One is location, Ekpe Port under the Ogun State government to guarantee security and investment. That is freehold land, not agric, freehold, free from any form of government encumbrance, meaning it can immediately produce a CFO. Then in terms of location, it borders Lagos. You won't even know it's under Ogun State unless we tell you. Most development companies will tell you it's Lagos State, but we put it out there. It's under Ogun State government and it's close to this military camp. There's a military camp in Tomopad there. So it's about 10 minutes away from the military. And that military barracks, rather, is under Lagos State government, repair barracks. So it's in close proximity to the military barracks. So then after where the property is, it connects to Ijebu. Then they say it also connects to close by to the coastal road, but far ahead of where the property is located. So definitely land will finish in Lagos. Land will finish. Sorry, let me say land will finish in Ekpe. But soon, or developers have taken almost everything in Ekpe, and the government has also taken their own fair share. So we've gone there to wait for people. When there will now be people have already started coming. As we got there, we already have like two companies that are there. I know one thing for a fact that more companies will come there because it's a freehold area. So it's always best that when you want to buy property, you be the first to get there and you wait for people to come and meet you there. And by that time, the value of that place will be very high. I was talking to someone, he said where LBS is, he is the first person to move there. All that place was a bush. He bought the land, came there and built and started living. People were thinking it was crazy. This is like over 15 years ago. People were thinking, is this guy normal when he did that? But look at LBS today. I'm sure they will see him as one very, very big man. Whereas that land bought it less than a million. I mean, he spent less than 10 million naira in completing that project. So real estate is just being the first to get a location. Once you know the development committee particular area, the proximity of that land to development, then it's always wise to just go there and become a landlord and wait.
You are doing an amazing project at Chevron, and Chevron is known for high profile people. So, tell us more about the project, the Genesis apartment,
Okay, we actually renamed it Genesis Smart
smart
Apartment
apartment.
because we're introducing smart appliances, smart doors, CCTV, then Bluetooth speakers, and smart lighting inside the house. So Genesis Smart Apartment is in Chevron Drive, Lekki, Lagos. It has a title governance consent. We have a building approval phone number. So there we're constructing 11 units of apartments, nine two-bedroom and two three-bedroom apartments. So it's on three floors. Ground floor is the car park. Then on each floor we have three units. So the fourth floor is more like a paint floor where we have an artificial pool and an artificial and a lounge on the fourth floor. It's also going to have an elevator. So each subscriber can only park one car on the ground floor. And you won't need to call your neighbor because there's going to be a drive in and a drive out because that's how it was designed. You enter from the front, then you come out from the side. So that was how we designed it in such a way that there's spacing in the middle, not that let's assume we just want cars to park anyhow. It will take almost 20 cars, but no, we have to ensure we give enough spacing so you don't need to know who your neighbor is. And on each floor, we only have three units. Okay, so the way this is an elevator in the middle. On one side, two units. On this other side, one unit. So you have enough spacing, enough freedom from your neighbors. Our place is going to actually be very, very sweet for people who like short-let business or for people who just want a quiet family lifestyle. In fact, the sales have been very good. We had to shut down sales to develop more before we reopen sales. We'll intend the reopening sales by the end of the month. So we're currently on the third floor. We just finished the pillars of the third floor. So they are working on the form work so we can cast the third floor. So we just have one more floor to go. Then we'll start talking about the block works and the interior.
So, by the time sales is reopened now, it's opening at a new price.
Yeah, we're looking at 130 million for a two-bedroom apartment.
So, it's still selling at 120 million now.
If you have 120 million, I can write cash. I'm a concealer.
Okay, so if you want to key, you can always contact us through our contact showing on your screen.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of amazing projects, especially Domino City Phase 1 in Ekpe. Now let's talk about land issues in Ekpe or in Lagos in general. December last year, most of estates around that neighborhood in Ekpe were demolished, but Domino City, nobody touched it. What's the current state of Ekpe, and should people still invest in Ekpe?
In terms of current state of Ekpe, it's more like everything in Ekpe is on standstill under the Lagos state government, especially in locations like Ketu Ekpe, Itoki, then Iragushi, and one other area I can't recall the name, but still within that Ketu axis. So the government has interest there for development. However, most of the lands within this area where government is laying claims to, I would say about 80% of those lands are initially committed. Or let me say 70% at least are already committed, while some are agric or forestry. So when a land is agric or a land is forestry or a land is committed, so government they still have rights to lay claims to those lands, especially in cases of committed. But in case of agric, if you've not done your regularization yet to C of O and you're not farming on the property yet, they can still lay claims to such property. So it's best to wait for them to finish their exercise. Then when they're done with their exercise, then you ensure that you perfect your land document. But in terms of the Union City Phase 1, that one was actually freehold. So when you say freehold, it means it's free from every form of government equivalence. And we have our land information certificates there, and some of our clients have already applied for C of O, only that everything is on hold for now. Then when they are done with redesigning Ekpe into their scheme, just like the way we have Lekki Scheme 1, Lekki Scheme 2, that's how we're going to have multiple schemes in Ekpe. And most likely those lands that they've demolished, they might still sell back to estate developers once they are done with their um, master plan for the entirety of Ekpe. So buying Ekpe under Lagos State government right now is more like a 50-50 chance. Even if we know the affected areas, it doesn't still leave any guarantees that they won't extend their search. So if peradventure oh, I must buy a pen now under Lagos State government, just have it at the back of your mind that it's a 50-50 chance in the sense that conduct your search. They tell you the land is not committed, good, but you cannot regularize that land currently until the government is done with their exercise. Then you can now regularize it and perfect it. So places like Ilara, Temu, um, then inside Odo Iragunshi, then some areas in Igunla, they've not really indicated interest in those areas today. So the moment they are done, because right now documentation is on hold, the moment they are done with the exercise, it will be very logical for clients who have bought properties there should immediately move to perfection of those properties. Because I'm sure most of the estate companies that sell didn't tell you the land has a CFO. So once you've been allocated your land, you can immediately commence the process of perfection of your land to ensure that your land is secure.
Can you briefly explain to some of our investors who already buy Ekpe, especially the vacation city, how they can perfect their document?
So currently now everything is you can't perfect it. So but those that let's say subscribed early we already have record copy. And on that record copy, it's already showing that you can do regularization on the property for the people who subscribed early. So for the later ones, we don't have record copy because it's on hold. So the only thing we can do right now is just to wait. So once we're done, or once the government is done with the exercise, most likely it's going to be more like regularization because that area is not an area of interest. So we'll just have to immediately reach out to clients that, okay, now you have to perfect your land document. But the only thing we can do right now is wait. So while you're waiting, you can choose to use your land for any kind of investment in the agricultural sector that can yield either farming or animal husbandry to be recouping to be getting return on investment on your land, which is advisable. So aside that, you can't do anything tied to perfection because everything is on hold 100% by the government until they are done with their exercise. Then they reopen the process. Then we will now reach out to clients to immediately perfect their document. So for now, everything is on standstill. You can only just farm on your land and make money.
So, and you've done an amazing job, especially the vacation city farm scheme. Land banking is the norm of real estate investment where you buy land, you wait, but now you are introducing buy and hand. So, especially the vacation city, you've paid over 30 billion naira to investors who
in terms of
invest in terms of their
their
return on
farming,
invest their farm.
the farming proceeds. Yeah.
Wow. So that's a great job. Since the past 2 years, we've seen that a lot of developers are now rushing to Ogun State and Oyo State. And you also launched a project called Upland Resident just by a fair boundary. Like, why are developers going to Ogun State?
Well, one of the major factors, to be honest, why many people are going to Ogun State is because there is a hold on properties in Lagos State. That's a fact. So as a result of that, people need to sell good lands. So rather than sell land that you're not sure of the status, it's better to buy properties in Ogun State that borders Lagos State. It's just like we have Bega, then we have Mowi. You can't really tell the difference. So or Magbon community, yeah, all those axes that are very close to Bega. So that's where most people are rushing to in terms of Ogun State, places that border Lagos. And we know that okay, within 25 minutes from a planned residence, you can get to the airport. Is not actually a bad investment. That's one. And two, it's free from every form of government encumbrance. And also, that implies that CFO can be gotten without any hassle. So that makes it a smart investment. And aside that, it's also going to, there's an alternative route that is also going to connect to the coastal road ahead of where the land is. So that is land banking, where we're looking at in terms of, I want to buy land and just forget I have the land. I'm looking at 7 years in terms of full development. However, like myself now, on my own personal plots there, I've already started farming cassava. By this August break, I'm going to start farming sweet potatoes and corn. So we're trying to change the perception of buying land and wait. So rather than just buy land and wait, why not just as you buy this land for land banking, these cheap ones, just use that land to farm. You don't even need to break a sweat. Get people to do the farming for you. Then every year you're just making your return on investment. So within 3 years, you'd have recouped every penny you use in buying the land. And from what you're recouping, you can even use that one to perfect your documents and you keep making your money on an annual basis and you know that your investment and your property is safe. But in terms of Oyo State, those ones are more of like land banking for people investing in Oyo. Oyo State is also trying to come up with various developments. They have, I think, this cargo airport now that should be in Munia axis or thereabout. And I was shocked when someone called me earlier this year to buy Alpha land deal for Ibadan, like 30, within the range of 30 to 50 million per plot. Like, what are you talking about? Like, are you kidding me? So, Oyo State is also fast developing in terms of real estate space. So, it's those are places that I know that have good return on investment. Lagos State, Ogun State, especially the areas that borders Lagos down to Abeokuta, Mowi, Ofada, Kobakpe, then Abeokuta. Very good investment opportunities where one can even build affordable housing and rest. I know someone who is based in the UK. He built a house in Abeokuta. She just comes for holiday once in a while. She hides herself. Perfect house. Goes to the gym, to the house. Then when she's done, she goes away from the noise of Lagos and family. So it's not everybody that is a fan of Lagos.
Low
So
key life.
there's low key lifestyle. Just consider Abeokuta or Kobakwe area, Mowi Ofada, good estates where you can just come hide yourself. So long your estate is fenced and there's security, hide yourself for a while, then you go back to wherever you want to be. Then if you like, you can rent it out. If not, you lock your house. So depending on your choice of investment, and not it's not only Lagosians that buy lands. We have people from other states who want to buy land as well. So you
Yeah.
have to ensure that the opportunity is open for everyone to invest in by having properties in various parts of the West.
Before we get to the last thing, real estate in Lagos is overpriced. What's your take on that?
Real estate in Lagos is overpriced. In terms of, are you talking about land cost or housing cost?
There are a lot of things behind the scene that people don't see.
Yeah,
Especially when we talk of land, you are dealing with communities, you are dealing with
yeah,
homogeneous, you are dealing with so many issues. That's why I always advise people to buy land from communities or other buy land from directly from company so that you have peace of mind and you know your investment is guaranteed. So,
Mm.
but most people they always feel like land in Lagos is overpriced. Is it due to economy, inflation, or maybe other challenges where you also have to settle government or settle community members? What is your take on that?
Lagos um, has the largest population in the whole of West Africa, one of the biggest cities, one of the richest economy. Okay, let's say it's the richest economy in the whole of West Africa. Then the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa, we're looking at one, two, three, maybe the second or third richest city in the whole of Africa. So if you think it's overpriced, then go to your village and buy land. If I want to be mean, lands you buy land, you will settle community, you take care of them, CSR. Then after that, you have to start thinking of perfection and development. So when you put all the factors together, it's already pricey on itself. And in my own case now, let's assume you buy land from me as an estate company, and God forbid there are issues that I have to lose that property. It's my responsibility to give you something equivalent or better than what you've bought from me, because that's why it's called real estate, and that's why you're buying from. Oh, that's not why it's called real estate. That's why you're buying from real estate company, because you're buying peace of mind. So buying peace of mind is actually expensive, and land documentation is also expensive. When they were making noise or Ikoyi, houses are overpriced. If you're saying prices are overpriced, go and it's because you've not built. Anybody telling you houses are overpriced, that person has never built anything in his life. No disrespect to anyone, because the cost of construction has tripled in 1 year. If I had sold out when I was selling at 65 million, I would have sold at a loss. So lands are expensive, building approvals are expensive, documentation is expensive,
Cost of construction.
cost of construction is expensive, inflation is also real. However, in some cases, there are still people still going above board. You always have that everywhere in the world. So you can't say because of those few people that real estate is overpriced. So if at all we want to start talking about moderation, everybody has a role to play. Can we bring down the cost of CFO? Can we bring down the cost of building approval? Can we bring down the cost of tax? Can we bring down inflation? So all these factors play a major role in determining what would be the price of a property. So in as much as it might be expensive in some cases, so each case is actually quite unique. Okay, depending on who is developing and the value of such a company. So yes, it's overpriced, and no, it's not overpriced. It's overpriced in the sense that some take advantage, that they have a large marketing base and sell at overpriced and they sell at a very expensive rate. And no, in the sense that the cost of development has risen, and the cost of inflation, and the what is 5,000 3 years ago is 500 naira today. As a result of all these factors, it has led to overpriced properties. And at the end of the day, even if you buy it 10 million or 100 million, you're still making your money at the end of the day. So just if you feel like it's overpriced, go to Ajah. If you think Ajah is overpriced, go to Songotedo. If you think Songotedo is overpriced, go to Ibeju Lekki, Ekpe, then down to Ogun State. So rather than complaining, just start your journey of investing. Even as a marketer, my first land I bought for myself was 600 to 700,000 naira in Igbonla, Ekpe. Today now that land is at least 3 million naira. If I was saying 700,000 is overpriced, maybe I would not be where I am today. So it just starts by taking that leap of faith, finding a property that's within your budget, be it Lagos, Ogun State, or your state, or if it's in the east or the south, like Delta, Benin, just start investing in land and ensure you carry out your due diligence rather than cry, so that your case will not be like my mom. Like, had I known, I would have bought land. So don't make up excuses, just invest if you can afford it, and ensure you do your due diligence before you invest so you don't run into scam.
So one last thing, thank you so much for all the inputs and notes and insights you share. What's the last thing you wish investors know about real estate?
Hmm. Well, there's a saying that the difference between the rich and the wealthy is real estate. You are rich when you have cash in the bank. You are wealthy when you have good assets titled that can earn you a loan. For instance, you have a sale of land, you can get a loan from a commercial bank and from a mortgage bank. So that's the difference between the rich and the wealthy. Because the wealthy, they have assets that can give them access to facilities that they can use to do business. Like I have a friend in UK is like, I want a land somewhere, but I want that land to have C of O. So that's just the clear difference. So you just have to start investing because, and that's the only thing you can leave for your children. Because imagine you have 10 million naira in the bank now, then that is how the will you want to give to your children 10 million naira. 10 million naira in the next 20 years is useless. So imagine that 10 million naira now is tied to an asset. Like I got a call 2 weeks ago that's someone passed on as an old age and he left land for his children at Ibeju Lekki that will I be interested in buying the land? I'm like, does he have title? They said not. Yes, okay. Tell the children to go and perfect the title. Once they perfect that title, we can do business. So that's the responsible parent that has left a will, a legacy for the children. So irrespective of the location, imagine when he was my land in Ibeju Lekki, people would have been like, what is Ibeju Lekki? But now Ibeju Lekki is becoming a big shot. So Thailand, perfect the land documents. Even if you do not benefit from that investment, your children will certainly benefit from it in the future because you cannot hide land. But money, banks can shut down, inflation can set in. But a land that you own and you've perfected the document to CFO of governor's consent cannot be taken away from you. So long you've perfected it and you've fenced it round, or you buy within an estate and it's secured. So if you do not benefit, your children will certainly benefit from it. So if you it's now your decision. Do I want to be rich or do I want to be wealthy? If you want to be wealthy, start accumulating assets. But if you want to be rich, keep accumulating
Cash.
liability and cash. Cash is a liability. Friend will come, they will borrow, they will not return. You see one very fine electric car, you will buy, you will enjoy. After 3 years, you will sell. Where's the motorcycle my mom bought 15 years ago or like 20 years ago? You won't believe that they even ran away with the motorcycle. And my dad said we should forgive the person. So imagine, oh, you go and buy an Uber vehicle, which is also good. So if you just, rather than stock money up, buy assets so that you can become wealthy because it was assets that saved them. Like, I believe Femi
Femi
Otedola,
Otedola
when
has
at the time
issues.
when he had issues, he has to let go of one or two assets and he's doing amazingly well today. So yeah, real estate is real. So
So some of our
I like
investors
today.
are Nigerians in diaspora. Some of them have responsibilities sending money back to their families. So final words of encouragement to our investors.
Well, when you said it all, there's payment plan. So when you hear 30 million, you hear 3 million, yeah, it sounds high. So if you're really interested in buying real estate, just ensure you take out a payment plan. Like my friend, like I mentioned, he's like, okay, for me to buy this land, oh, I have to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. What are the payment plan? Then it's okay. Before I can even make a deposit, I need to save up. It's going to take like 2 3 months to save up. Then once he's done saving, he commits, and once he makes the initial commitment, he starts paying on installments. Okay, so you don't need to break the bank to own a piece of real estate and just start from one. When you start from one, it gives you that sense of responsibility, that sense of fulfillment, self fulfillment, and it also opens your mindset that, oh, I need to have more streams of income. I need to have multiple streams of income so that I can lock down these assets that I have and buy more assets. So that's the beauty of real estate. The moment you begin to buy land, you get your land documents, you see your land, you get your physical allocation, not receipts or paper allocation. It gives you this kind of inner joy that you want to do more. So you wanting to do more, you now begin to think, rather than just relying on my 9 to 5, let me see one or two businesses that I can do here or there and make more money. That's that's what comes with investing in real estate. You begin to think like a wealthy person. That's why we say the difference between the rich and the wealthy is real estate because your
It
mindset
opens your mind.
begins to change, begins to get more broad. You know that I can't rely on just my salary. I need to get more streams of income. Is me having more streams of income is what brought me into the real estate industry. And from marketing, to buying one plot, from buying one plot to becoming an estate developer. That can be anybody's story who just needs to first take that first step of buying a plot of land. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much for listening and watching this episode. If you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe. If you want to invest in any of our estates, kindly give us a call or send us a DM via WhatsApp or phone call or our email. Thanks so much once again, and I'll see you in my next episode.